Hello, everybody. Good morning. And I want to welcome you all to our next episode of Awaken Your Spirit. And this is where we are doing energy work to really align your energy and your heart and soul and get it screaming to the world, because the world needs you right now. And I am Julie Murphy, the author of Awaken Your Wealth. And I always say that money is actually the result of everything else in your life. So I've started this awakening series of Awaken Your Health, Awaken Your Relationships, Awaken Your Work Life, and Awaken Your Spirit. And today we're working with my friend David from Sedona, David 𝙬𝙬𝙧, and he will facilitate us through an energy session today to help us get aligned with creating our new future for ourselves. Because otherwise, as David will attest today, your future will be decided for you if you don't decide to. Hi, David. How are you?
Good morning. Hi, everybody. Well, we're finally here once again, Julie. And, you know, it's really important, I think, that we start to really consider what we want to create and what kind of life we want to have. And life is recently, we've had a lot of trauma going on. We've had a lot of reactivity, but there comes a point where you need to come back to your center, and your center is always going to be your heart. It's always going to be that power place where you connect into being a creator rather than a reactor. And so as we're kind of shaking off some of the trauma that we've all been through on this, on this planet, and certainly in this country, it's time to refocus, it's time to reset, and it's time to really connect into our goals and what is true for us.
Right.
So I wrote this thing, and I'm going to say it again. It's like, if we don't learn to create our own future, it will be created for us. People are going to get trapped in trauma. And so as we know, there's a lot of polarity going on, a lot of divisiveness. And at some point, I think it's really clear and healthy that we step away from that and simply don't participate in it and go back into our core. Otherwise, we're going to get caught in other people's dreams, other people's battles, and the way our lives turn out, we're not going to be happy. We're not going to be joyful. We're not going to be connected to the authentic part of ourselves. So, you know, I work a lot with crystals. I work a lot with portals. And so we're also going to work a little bit with a kaleidoscope again. And the kaleidoscope and the fractals are portals that signal the brain to reorganize its circuitry from linear, sequential to holographic and multidimensional. Ultimately, we're here to become portals of light activated by codes of light. We are transcendent human beings, light in form, metamorphosis. So this whole transformation that we're all personally going through is really to bring us to a whole new level of being, a whole new level of consciousness, a whole new level of it's a total reconfiguration of our being. So we're at this cutting edge. We're at this place of reconfiguration of our entire lives. And so I'm going to take you on a short journey, energetic journey, because everything is vibrational. It's a vibrational universe. And so the way we hold our energy inside. So if you're vibrating and you're in a place of love or a place of joy, you're going to have a very different vibration than if you're in a state of fear or a state of reactivity.
And God knows there's so much fear and reactivity going on there right now out in the world.
Right. And a lot of people don't even know they're caught up in it. They're like reacting to other people's version of reality. And at some point you have to step back and go, what's true for me?
Right.
What's my truth? And what do I choose to participate in rather than, so the way the egoic structure is mandated in the human consciousness that when you're in a polarity, which means good, bad, right or wrong consciousness, a lot of times we react automatically. We just react automatically to something, and I think all of us have seen times where, you know, all of a sudden we're like, how did I get here? How did I get in this state? How did I get in this fight? You know.
Well, and do you think on some level though, David, like, who cares how you got there on some level? Because so many things are moving at, so many things are moving at lightning speed these days.
Right.
Because I'm to a point where it's like, I don't really care how I got where I got. All I know is I keep walking around just asking myself, going, what's my truth today? Not yesterday, not what I created up to this point, not what other people's expectations of me are. It's about what is my truth today.
Right.
And I've been very open in the last week of talking about, you know, the fact that a little over a week ago, my 5-year-old was sexually molested, not on my watch, when he, you know, is at his dad's house. And no blame, no shame, you know, no parent ever wants that to happen to anybody. But I was super clear of what's my truth today in walking in that, and not getting caught up in everybody else's drama and trauma surrounding that, but yet having it be a place of growth and not a place of something that will impact him for 40 years of his life. That has happened to so many of us, you know, as we had these traumas in our childhoods that became these, you know, multi-decade long issues. It's just about, I don't care how I got here. Let's just stand in our truth today and shift it and do it in a quantum speed, quantum level, because the more you reiterate those stories, the more you're ingraining yourself in your trauma and in your truth of yesterday, not your truth of today. That's what's super, super important, I think.
Right. And so how did you do that?
Well, first and foremost, you have to feel the feelings in the moment and work through it. And honestly, I called you and we did a one-on-one energetic session so that I could amplify out of it, because I literally, like, within an hour of being told this information, way past after it occurred to my son, that I started getting bloody noses and my body was just doing funky stuff because I was in a trauma response. And so it didn't take me very long to be like, okay, it was that next morning that you and I right-sized my energy and said, you know, because I am super clear that your energy creates your reality.
Absolutely.
And so I needed to unplug from, you know, the guilt and the shame that was coming up for my ex-husband because it happened on his watch. Like, it's like, okay, you know what? No parent ever wants that. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to say anything. To me, it's just about, let's get the proper help. Let's get to action. Let's get to, and I couldn't do that until I did the energy work. And I couldn't do that until, you know, I cleared my nervous system of the trauma of realizing that. And so we have this hyper reactivity in our nervous systems these days, that whether it's COVID or the economic crisis or your relationships are falling apart, and some of you have all of this going on at one time, kind of like I've had going on all at one time. And it's about, we have to get our nervous systems to a state of neutrality. And this is what this energy work does, because it gets you out of the reactivity. And so it got me out of the reactivity of wanting to, you know, I have a lot of fire and I wanted to scorch. And my natural thing is to just like butt heads and chop heads off because my son was not taken care of in a way that I want him to be taken care of, or his dad for that matter. Like it's just something that happened. And so I had to get my nervous system out of that reactivity. And so we all have to get our nervous systems out of the reactivity, because this is not the end of COVID or economic crisis or other health crises. So we've got to learn to flip the switch. And it's really super interesting to me. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't have the reactivity. And on some level, that's foreign to me, because I'm feisty Irish. I had one of my coaches say to me going, Jewel, the days of the fighting Irish are over, because fighting doesn't get you to where it is that you want to be. And whether you're fighting about masks or healthcare or politics or whatever, it's not going to get you to where you want to be. And so this is where this energy work, I think, is critical for people to really start to shift and really start to amplify to get them to where they want to be. I know that was a long answer to your question.
Obviously, you're very passionate about that. And, you know, it's at a critical moment. So what, what I know happens with people is when a trauma happens, it takes you into deep emotion immediately. And that deep emotion will trigger stories. Okay. So all of a sudden, any kind of trauma that you've had in the past, you just start bringing that story up. And at that point, that's not helpful. At that point, as Julie was saying, it's like, here's a problem. What is the solution? And you know, she was talking about, I need to get myself out of reactivity and into a place of solution. And so it's this major kind of turning ourselves inwardly in a whole new direction, and how to do that.
Mm-hmm. So that you can be the creator of what happens as opposed to the reactor of what happens. Because the reactor just creates more trauma and drama.
Right. And the truth was, you needed to be present for your children at that point, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And so it was like, she needed to be present for her children and needed to take action. And so as many of us will find now that whatever turns up in our lives, that the quicker we can get out of the reactivity and the faster we can get into the solution, the more effective we're going to be in dealing with whatever the issue is and resolving the issue. So you know, what I could do, Julie, is take everybody into that energy and take them into that. What do you think?
Do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's really get them to feel the energy, because I think energy work is so foreign to so many people. I think they really need to realize when you're coming back to a place of wholeness, I want them to really actually physically feel what it is that you're doing with people on the live today. Right.
Okay. So for everybody watching, I'd like you to think about something that needs resolving in your life. And you need to come to a place of resolution about. So you want to get out of the mental place of and move into a reactivity, move into a place of solution. So I'm going to take you through a guided meditation. All the symbols that we're using are just part of a journey, so don't get hung up on them. Just what I'm really looking for you to do is change your state, okay? To perhaps change your state from fear to feeling better, feeling
place of empowerment.
Feeling empowered. That would be the great thing, is it's like you come out of this and you're going like, you know, this is what I'm going to do to solve this problem. And I'm going to start right now.
Yep.
So I'd like you to go into your center, into your core, into that place within yourself, perhaps into your heart center, if you are connected with that. And so we're going to create a visual of a pyramid of 24 karat golden light, a very large pyramid, like one of the big pyramids in the world, like in Egypt. Okay. And at the base of that pyramid, I want you to see there are 3 circles of light. And in those 3 circles of light are 13 mama dragons, 13 pointed stars, and 13 dream weavers. Why do we use 13? It's a very powerful and magical number. So that's why I'm using that. I'd like you to just stand in that pyramid of 24 karat golden light. I'd like you to imagine a 24 karat golden light coming into your toes, your arches, your heels. This is a really powerful light. It's a plasma light. It's a plasma light that comes from other dimensions. And we're going to bring that up your legs. Feel it moving up your legs into your hips. I want you to feel that at the base of the spine. At the base of the spine, we're going to place a radiant sun. And I want you to feel the energy of that sun, feel the power of that sun at the base of your spine. And we're going to start moving that 24 karat golden light up your spine. And when we get to your heart center, I'd like you to feel an explosion of light. I'd like you to feel your heart really opening, just fully. And a good way to do this is to focus on anything that opens your heart and brings you love. It's those thoughts, those feelings that just open you fully. Whether it's your children, whether it's a beautiful place you like to go, but we really want the heart to open. And so I'm going to start accelerating that energy and bringing the heart into alignment here. And so I want you, as the heart opens, I also want you to feel a radiant sun just beaming into you, feeling the energy of that, feeling the joy and the passion of that heart opening. All right, and we're going to continue with that golden light going up your spine, into your shoulders. Feel that golden light flowing into your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands, your fingers. Feel it flowing out your palms, out your fingertips. And we're going to move then to your brain stem, where again, I'm going to place another sun, a radiant central sun at the brainstem, and I'd like you to feel the radiance of that, the power, the luminosity of that, and we're going to connect the sun at the base of the spine to the sun at the base of the brainstem with a toric field, which is a field of light. It's like a figure 8 that goes from the base of your spine through your heart to the upper to the base of your brainstem. So it's just going to be a recirculating light as we continue. So I'd like you to feel a lot of energy happening in your spinal column, really kind of connecting your spine to your brainstem. And we're going to now, as we focus on the brainstem and that radiant light, I'm going to open up your thymus, your hypothalamus, and your pituitary glands. And we're going to place a central sun in the pineal gland. So the pineal gland is at the very center of the brain, and it is a very powerful gland. And we're going to put a radiant sun there. That's going to start connecting you into higher levels of yourself. And as we're moving that, I want you to feel the neurostructure of the brain really starting to activate. Feel all the neurons in the brain just coming alive. We're going to feel that light in the. So we're going to also connect you into the multiverse, which is you in a more extended level of connection into other dimensions, other solar systems. And this might sound kind of weird to some of you, but just allow yourself, this has perhaps been dormant, but allow this to kind of open up. Allow you to move into a holographic, a multidimensional aspect of your brain, of your consciousness. Feeling new things opening and connecting, and we're going to now start spiraling out your third eye and out your crown, out the apex of the pyramid. We're going to travel as plasma light through the galactic corridor. So your plasma light in form, merging the plasma of your blood with the plasma of the central sun. Again, feeling the radiance of that sun. We're going to continue through the galactic corridor, through the galactic gateway, through the initiate, into these beautiful fractals of light. So you're going to come into a kaleidoscope of radiant light, of fractals of light. And feel yourself being pulled right into the center of that kaleidoscope, just into those fractals of light. And I want you to release everything that's bothering you, okay? The major issues. So, you know, with Julie that day, we're like, all right, we're going to put all the issues that are going on with your son, all the issues that are going on with you emotionally, we're putting all of that in those fractals of light. I want you to just start releasing that from your consciousness. And we're going to start, and as you're doing that, I want you to feel your heart starting to open. So in Julie's case, we were talking about the mother's love for her children. And as you connect into that, you're now connecting the heart and the mind. And I also suggested that she move into the energy of Mama Bear, and that's the power and the energy of the divine feminine to protect their young. And so as we open up these energies, all of a sudden you're like in, not in a reactive field so much anymore, but in a powerful field a force field of light, and moving into taking action rather than reactivity. So what we've done is we've taken and reformed the energy into a place of power rather than a place of reactivity or helplessness. We're just gonna, so I'd like you to, whatever your issues are, I want you to really come into a focus of knowing and deciding that you are going to take action, that you actually have the capacity and the ability now, as this energy starts coming through you, to move forward on whatever it is you need to do as a creator, rather than a reactor, to move into a solution, a resolution of whatever's up for you. And we want to really feel that energy, that resolution. I want you to come out of this session today strong, feeling like, yes, I can do this. And you just start moving into the first steps of whatever that is. Okay, so I'm going to be kind of silent for a moment, and I'm going to really kind of amp up the energy here. And I want you to feel like you're moving into a formation of energy within yourself that's going to bring you into a very strong capacity to act, to move, and to resolve. We're also going to really open the heart and feel that. And as we're continuing with this focus, going into these fractals, this resolution, I want you to just imagine yourself focusing at the sun and feeling the light of the energy of the sun, really taking that in. You know, so it's almost like you're going into a blinding light, but that light is very, very powerful light. And I want you to feel the energy of that as it enters your field, enters your mind, enters your heart structure. Feel your entire body, your entire mind being reorganized by this light, by these fractals of light. Feel like you're coming into a stronger and stronger focus and a stronger and stronger force field within yourself of resolution. This is going to be a day of action rather than a reaction. This is going to be a day where you start your journey or continue your journey of resolving whatever it is that has been troubling you. So this is a day with this energy where you're going to get up out of your chair, move out of reactivity, and decide you're going to take action, whatever that means to you. You're going to feel fully in charge of your energy and of your being and of your emotions. And moving into solution. What that also means is it means getting out of the story, whatever the story is, and moving into the solution. Okay, so I'm going to send some really powerful light your way. I'm going to be sending that light and that energy from the central sun. And as you know, everything organizes and feeds off the sun. So that's where we're getting this really pure power burst connected with your heart, the alignment of your being. There we go. So we're talking about a mental, emotional, and physical alignment of you stepping into mastery, into having the capacity to take the next steps, to do what's required. It's about you rising up out of whatever the situation is and taking charge. And so I want to send a lot of energy now to your heart. There we go. And your capacity to move into being a creator. Well, Julie, how's this feeling to you?
Yeah, I can feel the energy. And I think a lot of people, a way that you can sense that is deep relaxation, because it's aligning your energy with back to a place of wholeness for yourself. I think that's a way for people to recognize it.
Mm-hmm. So, Julie, what are you going to do with this energy today?
I think I'm going to sleep because I had my kids for 6 days in a row.
There you go.
You know, I wrote down earlier, you said, don't get caught up in other people's dreams. And I am naturally a people pleaser. And there are ways that I am interfacing in my life right now that I need to ask myself whether they're my dreams or not, or if it's just me playing the role for somebody in their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And that one truly, truly stuck out to me. And it may very well be my dream as well. But there's been enough hesitation and pause in my end that I'm guessing there's part of it that's not. And I know that on some level, I just needed to admit it. And then proactively choose to create what I want. And how you do that is making sure that your own needs are met along the way. That's what I'll be walking myself through today. And it's even interesting as I'm having my voice about that, my voice is all cracking and stuff, which clearly that tells me I'm spot on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, where I've gotten to in this is that I see a lot. I see globally, I see nationally that we have gotten caught in a web of a lot of other people's dreams, a lot of other people's emotional reactions. And I personally am at a point of going, you know what? I'm moving back into the center of I'm gonna choose in my life what's true for me. Yeah. And I'm gonna live that. I'm gonna live that truth. I'm gonna live it from the core of my being. I'm gonna live it from my heart. I'm gonna live from a level of authenticity that feels right to me.
Right.
And I think that there are a lot of people that are going to stay trapped in a lot of stuff, but we have a choice, and the choice is, do we want to stay in reactivity, or do we want to find a way to break out and become beings that are, there's a word that's just escaping me, but that we become our own, we're expressing from our own core and going to live out of our own authenticity and take responsibility for what we create. And I think that that's all very possible and very doable to really live an authentic life. And that life means that we're going to move into our heart. We're going to move into the very core of our being, our soul, and co-create from that level, as well as using our conscious mind. But it's a great opportunity to create a new life for ourselves.
And I always like to urge people that it doesn't matter how screwed up it is or how not in alignment it is. It's always about dreaming the new dream. And it's about knowing that you can create something different. Because that knowing creates the space for you then to step into a different reality. But you know, each person watching this, whether you're watching it live right now or taped later, it's hard on so many levels to shift that if you're not doing the energy work. Because we are vibrational beings. And it is so much easier when you get the support of doing this kind of energy work to align yourself with your soul, because for so long you've lived not in alignment with your soul. And so to me, why waste any more time? It's the world needs every single one of us to be exactly who we are, to make the impact that we're meant to make on humanity. If you're finding us here and watching this, that means you're supposed to make a big impact. And so we need you to get busy doing that. And I know my soul work is to help people to get to that place. And I know that's true for you as well. And I was just going to say, anyone who's watching, let us know how we can best support you. Let us know what you're feeling, what you're not feeling. If you have questions about what you're feeling, like, let's learn, let us teach you and teach others while you're getting the answers to your own stuff as well. So I would love any comments or questions. I would encourage them, because I know for many this is foreign.
And I want to say that it's, you know, it's a matter of doesn't matter where you're starting from. The fact is that you start, and you start moving forward. You start opening, you start connecting. This is a new reality and a new world we're moving into. And the sooner that we can embrace that and understand that it is a vibrational universe, the quicker we can become aligned with a whole new creative being and a creative reality that we're all stepping into. We're literally shifting from one paradigm to another. And so everybody starts somewhere, and anything we can do to help you, we'd be glad to.
Exactly. Because there's more than enough abundance for everybody. That's what we also don't realize on so many levels. And so many people don't shift and don't move because they don't know how to financially do that. And I'm telling you, when you do this work, the money always shows up. But the money doesn't show up before you do the work. The money shows up after you do the work.
So we have to shift from a fear-based reality to a love-based, heart-based, creator-based reality. And it's a big shift. But we're being asked to do that on a global level.
Well, and I like what you said earlier, that if you don't shift and be the creator of your life will be created for you. And you may or may not like that package that's created. Like, I know that this experience with my son has been about, I talk about the virus at large being the one thing that creates humanity to go to oneness, because no matter what your race is, no matter what country you're in, no matter what sex you are or sexuality you are, we all get sick the same way. And no matter what your politics are, no matter what anything. And I'm finding this experience with my son, that this is the experience to actually get me and my ex-husband to a different place post-divorce, because we both love him and we need to get to a place of wholeness, and we get to choose that or not, right? We all get to choose. And so I would just urge everybody to choose from a place of empowerment. Like, I'm choosing for this to be a platform of growth, because it's not only the growth of my son, it's also the growth of my daughter, who walked in and found it all, because she's actually got more trauma going on than he does, because she's more aware at an older age of what happened. And I just keep going, yep, this is how we learn. We all have experiences in life, and it's what you do about it and how you show up is the next step. And it's true for all of us in any situation. And that's where this energy work, I think, is so critical to align with your heart and your soul. Because when you're responding from your heart and your soul, it's very different than reacting from your own personal traumas that you've had in your life.
And so, sometimes you need someone to kind of teach you how to work with the energy, to shift it. The whole point is for you to become self-empowered, so that you learn a way of mastery that no matter what life throws at you, you can, through your own mastery, being able to master your own energy, your own consciousness, be able to deal with that and deal with it in an effective way. And so, even though these changes are challenging at first, it really is a way for you to live an empowered life, a joyful life, a life that's filled with love, a life that's filled with authenticity. But it's also the sloughing off of the story of your life, which we all have. And it's that story that recirculates Anytime there's emotional trauma, boom, the story starts. And they're stories that are not only, they're the stories of our lives. And to get out of that trap and to become in the now, in the moment, to be able to experience life, not through a filter, but in this moment, you know, that be here now, ultimately taking you into a place that I would call presence. Which is a very different state of being, but where you are fully present, fully connected in each moment of your life.
It's beautiful. Well, it's amazing to me how time goes by really fast in working with you, David.
It's always a joy.
And so if anyone wanted to do any one-on-one work with you, how do they get a hold of you?
The best way would be go to 𝐾𝐻𝐺𝐼LARDY.com.
And I look forward to next Tuesday again, doing 8 a.m. Central, that everyone can join us for our next Awaken Your Spirit. We'll continue to unpack and do our energy work, and come to juliemurphy.com. I will be giving away my book for free in the next couple weeks. I'm putting that out in the world because it is time for me to globally heal this world that we are living in. And all I'm going to ask for you is to pay for your own shipping of your book. Please like, share, and subscribe to help us do more of our work in the world. And I am super grateful, and I hope everyone has a marvelous week. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.